Welcome back, guys. Today we are doing an unboxing. So let's just get this box open. In all fairness, just to be 100% transparent, it did come with an outer box, so the packaging was well done. I just didn't think you guys needed to see two boxes. So here we go. Let's just open this one. Wow. That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's start with the exciting stuff. We have a cheap ass guitar cord to get you started. But that's fine. A truss rod adjustment tool. So cool, that's always handy. And oh, wow, I can already see through it. That's pretty cool. So, the box, let's get rid of that. Woo! What do you guys think? What is it? I think this is pretty exciting. Now let me try and open this without ripping it to shreds like I usually do. Ooh, yeah, definitely a Firebird. Wow, so a reverse Firebird. Sunburst. Look at that. Looks pretty cool. I haven't even looked at it yet properly, but it's very glossy. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. Nice, they put a little protector on the tip switch, so that's always good because these things have a habit of breaking. Yeah, looks okay. Let's get rid of the really yummy silica gel. As someone once said, bass players, please do not eat this. I think that was Glenn. Let's get rid of this material to protect the frets from the strings, and bam. Okay. Looks quite nice, actually. So, what does it say on the tag? This is, apparently, a Antiquity model number FB1 VSB, so Firebird 1, I guess. Sunburst, vintage Sunburst VSB, and QC inspection, it has passed. So it has passed QC. And there's also a sticker, oops, I just banged it. There's a sticker that says QC passed. Before we get started, I'm just going to take one moment to have a little rant here. Now, I know very little about Antiquity. I know that they are PMT's house brand. I know that they are made to kind of recreate some of the classic guitar styles, and also some of the legend guitars. But what I have to say that really pisses me off is, one, there's very little information on Antiquity guitars themselves. So, okay, they are a house brand like Harley Benton is to Toman, East Coast I think is to Anderton, okay, PMT have, what are they called? Antiquity. But I still need to know where they're made. I still want to know, at least what country they're made. I want to have a bit of info on the kind of factory, the setup, whatever. Just a bit of stuff on that. Two, have some more details on the actual bloody guitars. So if you look at the specs on this, and let's just do this together, because this is really actually pissing me off now. So, Antiquity guitars. Bam, PMT online, yay, let's do this. Okie dokie. Antiquity guitars. All it says in PMT Online is that it strikes a wonderful balance of affordable quality and familiarity for beginners, featuring a mix of recognizable 50s and 60s guitars and bass designs. That's all it says. Okay, so if I go into any of these models, but let's just look for this one. So this is the Firebird Firebird, Antiquity Legend. That's a Firebird base. Hang on, I got it. Don't panic. There you go. Okay. Overview. Firebird Legends. Used by people like Tom Petty and Foo Fighters. Vintage Okio. Okay, the specs. Firebird style. 2-tone sunburst. Fair enough. Maple neck. Okay. Standard C. Yeah, that sounds about right. Scale length. Fret count. 22. Inlays. White dots. Nope. That's completely wrong. Wow, this is crap. Inlays, white dots, completely wrong. Body is Okume. Okume. I can't tell if it is or it isn't. Pickups 2 times covered humbuckers with frame. Now, yes, they are covered humbuckers with frame, but they're mini humbuckers. So you might want to say that. White single ply guard, yes. Tuners, yes. No brand, yes. Neck joint through body, it looks through body, yes. LP bridges, specs. Nut width is 43 mm. And that's it. So, guys, seriously, I don't want a lot, but what I mean is, can you tell me what the nut is? The actual nut material is? In 2024, there's no excuse not to tell me what the nut material is, quite frankly. I mean, is it plastic? Is it Graphtec? Is it something else? I'm assuming it's plastic, but it's kind of a weird color for plastic. Anyways, I'll check that out later. And also, seriously, yes, mini humbuckers, yes. Are they ceramic? Are they Alnico? If they're Alnico, what magnet? I mean, look, I don't think it's actually acceptable to not put these specs in a guitar. I don't think it's actually acceptable to not have where it's made at the back of the headstock anymore. You know, we're not in the 90s, we're not in the 80s where, you know, guitars were had to hide. You need to say where it's made. You need to have some sort of, you know, tracing back to the factory, I think. And I think you need to put the specs of the humbuckers, the specs of the nut at least, and maybe, if you can, and not get AI to write it for you, if you can, put the right inlays. These are clearly not dots, as the website says. So, having said that, let's move on with the review, because I still really dig the look of this. Okay, so having had my little tantrum, let's now look at the actual guitar. So let's start off with the body. Let me get this in the light. Oh, whoo! So I can see, which is not too unusual with Firebirds, but hang on, I can see 1, 2, 3, and I suspect this is a 4th. At least 4 pieces. That's a nice puzzle. So, at least 4 pieces of wood stuck together. Yep, I think it's a 4-piece body. Which, you know, whatever. I don't know. So, the gloss finish is super duper thick, I've got to say. I mean, it's really well done, so it's not bumpy, it's a nice finish, but it's super thick. So there's like, it's almost like if you have like a mirror clear coat on top, and it's nice, but yeah, not sure how much it actually breathes. There's no breathing here, I think. But yeah, looks good. The finish looks nice. The sunburst is well done, I think. It looks relatively attractive. It carries through the neck. There is the neck scarf here. There's no little volute to the neck, but I guess that's okay. The neck angle and access is decent, more or less what you expect. In terms of the actual neck shape, yeah, it says it's a C standard, I think. I mean, it's pretty comfortable. It's not the thinnest neck I've tried, so it's not a super thin neck, or it's not a thin C. So it has a little bit of chunk, but it doesn't seem uncomfortable. One thing which to me is already freaking me out is I think I'm going to fall off the fret ends with this high E string. But let's see when we play. So as we said, the nut, I don't know, guys. Let's assume it's plastic because it is plastic. Yeah, I think it is. Looking at it in the right light, I think it is plastic. Yes, no doubt. So plastic nut seems to be cut fairly well. Yeah, seems to be okay. Tuners at the headstock are absolutely nondescript. There's no branding whatsoever. They are more or less straight, so okay. Obviously, as I said, on the neck, you have this very, very thick, glossy neck, which I really don't like, generally, but I guess that's what you get. I prefer satin or worn down necks. I mean, I guess what you could do is just sand this down completely, but it might be a lot of work, just because of the thickness of this bloody lacquer. But what's really surprising is the fret job is really bloody good. There's absolutely no fret sprout. There's no sharp frets, even at the top. I mean, that's surprising. They're not sharp. It's really, really nice fret job, actually. Really good. Very, very good fret job. They're not the shiniest, so I think they could probably be polished, but a bit of playing will take that scratchiness away. The fretboard looks to be very, very dry, but overall looks fairly nice. There's nothing particular there, but they're just very dry. There's a funny, yeah, I think that's just a scratch or whatever it is here. I don't know if you guys can see it on the fretboard. White scratch there, but maybe it's just a bit of discoloration in the wood, or it's just a scratch. Anyways, that's fine. So overall on the body, there's no marks, no dents, no chips, nothing. I think everything has been covered pretty well. In terms of shape, it looks more or less the same as you would expect a normal Firebird to look. Let's get to the controls. 4 controls, so volume, tone, tone. They feel okay, actually. We'll test them out later. The selector switch feels a bit cheap, but hey, that's life. So overall, everything looks pretty nice. I like the headstock shape. I like the guitar as a whole. It's a bit neck heavy, I think, overall. But yeah, it seems fine. It's a decent weight. It's nice, but you can definitely feel that it's a bit neck heavy. But it's pretty cool. Definitely. Let's tune up. I'll plug this baby in and see what sort of sounds we can get out of it. I am all plugged in. Had a little bit of trouble getting the guitar in tune, but you know what? Obvious, the strings seem fairly inexpensive. They don't feel great, and I guess they need a little more help to stay in tune. The tuners, they're okay. They just they're not very good, but for the moment they seem to work. It does take a little bit of time to get this thing in tune, but you know what? Once it's in tune, it seems to actually stay there, more or less. Hang on. There you go. Let's get to some Sound samples. So let's start with some fairly clean sounds. I never go too clean because who plays really clean except for metalheads? And I am, as usual, going straight to my Friedman IRX and then bam, into my audio interface. I am just running the Valhalla Supermassive just with a bit of reverb on it, and that's about it. No post EQ, nothing. Okay, so let's move on to some more rocking sounds. Let me put channel 2 on the Friedman. Hope you enjoyed those sound samples. I've got to be honest, this is one of the first times that I'm actually kind of confused when I review or play a guitar for the first time. And that's simply because I really like it. I really like this guitar. I'm a massive Firebird shape fan. I mean, I love this shape. This is rock and roll. It's Tom Petty. It's just everything I like. I love the reverse headstock, you know, adds some nice tension to the bass strings, which I think is, you know, something that Jimi Hendrix got right, but amongst other things. So on the downsides, I've got to say, I don't like the whole kind of package that it came in. So the fact that there's no information on the website, there's absolutely no kind of background to where it was made, how it was made, who made it, why they made it, whatever it is, except for some general marketing crap which seems like AI wrote it. Then there's very little information on the actual components of the guitar. So, for example, the nut material, the pickups, what the hell these pickups are, you know, the various bits and pieces. There's, again, some generic language on the specs, but, you know, they got the inlays wrong, they got various bits and pieces wrong. Normally, for me, it's a massive red flag when I see, like, very, very generic language like that on a website. It doesn't inspire confidence. But having said that, I think the guitar's actually really good. Pickups sound very, very decent, actually. I was surprised. I don't know what they are, ceramic, non-ceramic, Alnico, whatever. I don't know, but they sound okay. They sound good. They're certainly not fantastic, but, I think you can probably play with these for a little while until you change them out or something. In terms of playability, there's a few things that I really like and there's a few things that I really don't like. In terms of the neck, the frets are fantastic. Great frets, really good, high quality fret job. There's no unevenness, there's no high frets, nothing buzzes, even when unplugged. Just good all round. They don't choke out. So generally okay. The tuning stability, whatever this nut is, and I definitely think it's plastic, it's okay. It's cut well. It holds tune pretty well. The tuners aren't great, but they still do their job. Now, on the downside, in terms of playability, I'm not a fan of the super glossy neck. I find it very sticky. I kind of found it hard to play with a super glossy neck. Most of my guitars, if not all, have a satin or a natural neck. So I find it kind of difficult, but that's a personal thing, right? You may be happy with it, whatever it is. So personally, I'm not a fan of the satin neck. But most importantly, I found the fingerboard to be extremely dry. And I know that's a very easy fix. You can just condition it, but it's very dry, not particularly nice. The frets are a bit scratchy, but nothing out of the ordinary. In terms of setup, again, there's really good things and there's really not so good things. Intonation was actually spot on. Well done, whoever set this up. Intonation was really good. I didn't actually have to change anything. However, the action is very high for me. I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to show you on this camera here, but the action is pretty damn high, as you can see. So I'll definitely have to lower that. My only worry is these posts don't seem to be that high up, so I'm just wondering whether it's a neck angle issue or not. But anyways, we'll have to see. There's quite a bit of relief in the neck, so maybe we'll have to straighten that out as well. But yeah, so in terms of action and playability, not great. A bit of work. I haven't done anything to this yet, but a bit of work will have to be done. So I find it a bit difficult to play at this height. If I were a beginner, I wouldn't really enjoy this because it is quite difficult to play. So not sure about how beginner friendly this actually is. So you see, in both these categories, there's some things that were really good and some things that were really not so good. But overall, what I think makes this really kind of a cool guitar, although it's far from being perfect, is the fact that, let's be honest, it just looks awesome. It sounds surprisingly good, actually. Sounds like a Firebird should sound. It seems to work fine. You can definitely upgrade it. It's, as I said, $200 more or less, £200 in the UK. So, if you're after a different, cool looking guitar, you don't want to spend the whatever £600 on, or £500, $600 on a Epiphone Firebird, then this is probably a nice project guitar. Upgrade these tuners. I'll put a link to my preferred inexpensive tuners, for example, that you can get easily on Amazon. Put some locking tuners on this, and already it would make string changing a lot easier. Hopefully the tuning will be easier, and you can think about later on the electronics. But everything really is kind of based on now on getting this action down and making it play easily, because that's, I think, the only thing that stops it from being a really good guitar as is. So I really don't know. I don't know whether I like it, whether I'm a bit underwhelmed by it. It's an inexpensive, cool looking guitar. I think you can make this into a really, really cool, kind of project guitar, and it looked different. It definitely has that attitude. So it's got that rock and roll attitude that you don't give a crap, and it's cool. You don't care how you look. I like it. So I definitely like this kind of the attitude. I like the vibe of the guitar. I think it hits the nail on the head in the description that it has. So it seeks to kind of recreate a classic, and it does it fairly well in a import, I'm guessing, Chinese kind of way. But it's okay, actually. It's okay. So overall, guys, I think if you're a beginner, maybe be a little wary of the kind of setup. It might be just this one, but you know, get someone to lower it for you, because it does feel very high in terms of the string height. It does feel a bit difficult to play. I definitely would change the strings, by the way, if you're a beginner, because these strings are pretty terrible. Overall, in conclusion, if you're a beginner and really want to stand out, this is a cool choice. If you are an intermediate, pro player, whatever, and just want to mod the hell out of it, which is what I'm going to do, this is cool. I think this is one of those kind of guitars that might deserve a follow-up video in a little bit of time, because at the moment I think it's a really cool guitar. I kind of like it, but I kind of don't like it at the same time. So just giving my honest opinion. I did find it a little bit hard to play, but sounds cool. So overall, it's okay. That's all I can say. But as always, guys, I'll put the links in the description below. I'm really interested to know, have you guys bought any of these Antiquity guitars? Because I honestly know nothing about it. I just went and got this randomly on the PMT website. I don't have any information. There isn't any information. Even if you look up Antiquity guitars online, there's this really basic like landing page that really doesn't have any info whatsoever on it. So I'd be interested to know if there's anyone that has a bit of background on these. But overall, I think they're definitely some cool designs. They've got a Flying V, they've got an Explorer. I like the fact that they're making those guitars that normally for beginners are inaccessible, right? So they're going for something a little bit different. They're not just doing the normal Strat, Les Paul, whatever. These are a little bit different, and I kind of like them. If you get this guitar, or if you get any of the other Antiquity guitars, we've got to be honest, you're getting them for the shape and nothing else. So yeah, thank you as usual for watching. Let me know, as I said, in the comments. Give me a shout if you want any more information. I'll put all the links down below, and I'll keep playing this and let you guys know how I get on. Hopefully it'll be a nice surprise or a nice second follow-up video. Thanks as always for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. I know it's a pain in the ass, but if you can, subscribe, because it does help me. It helps me bring more gear so I can review. It helps me talk to more companies, and it really doesn't cost you anything except for seeing my annoying face, but then you can just skip over it. So thank you so much as always. I shall catch you next time, and please, guys, be good to each other.